Hey guys, coming to my review for the series premiere of the new show on Showtime called Roadies, Season 1, Episode 1, Life is a Carnival. Now this is going to be one of those rare times, guys, where I'm doing a completely unedited video. Why? Because I don't actually have a lot to say about this show. I was really looking forward to this show, I'm definitely going to say that. I mean, Cameron Crowe, yeah, Aloha was pretty bad, but I thought, alright, that's just a misfire. Every director has a misfire here and there. Even Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino, two of the greatest directors of all time, they've had misfires. And I really thought, okay, after Vinyl, and that getting canceled, this would be what that show should have been. And I really thought this show was going to show us what a great music show really could be. When in fact, this show is not only, I think, just on the same level as Vinyl, it's actually worse than Vinyl. There were things in Vinyl I really enjoyed, and there weren't many things I enjoyed about this first episode. Now, that's not to say the show is going to suck. It could just be a bad pilot, but this episode was not good, not bad, but just incredibly mediocre and incredibly disappointing. I really was not a huge fan of this first episode. There's really not a lot to talk about. I'm going to talk about the characters we were introduced to and talk about things that happened, and that's really it. Basically, this show focuses on these people in this thing called the Staten House Band, the Staten House Band, not Staten, the Staten House Band, basically, and they're the ones responsible for putting on concerts, putting on shows, things like that. They are basically the crew all behind it, and it kind of is the lives of these crew members, and that's basically what the show is supposed to be in a nutshell. And it sounded really interesting, especially from the quotes, we see in the beginning of the episode. We see Tom Petty says, we don't know how hard roadies work. I'm like, all right, I really wanted to see how roadies work, how it really is. That's something I was definitely looking forward to, and just like Vinyl, the biggest problem with the show is that it doesn't focus as much on the music. It focuses way too much on the characters, and they're just not that interesting. I mean, our cast here is really good. There's a lot of potential out of our cast, but I'll tell you actually who's the worst. The worst in the show, without a doubt, is Luke Wilson. I don't know what the hell he's doing in the show. This character, I don't give a shit about him, Bill. Bill, this character is awful. I really am not a fan with his character. Basically, this guy is, Bill, we see him in the beginning of this episode. He's having sex with, the 22-year-old daughter of, this guy that's going to be their manager and everything. It's just, it's so weird that he's having sex with this girl. She's, 22. He's, 40. I mean, such a weird way to start, but really gets us into the weird tone of this show. Definitely, and then, I didn't care about his character. I think he's trying way too hard to be the, funny guy, and he's really not funny at all. There's nothing really interesting about him, and that's really my biggest thing, is that he's a main character, and he seems damaged, but there's nothing really going on with him at all. I mean, he really is billed as the main lead, and there's literally nothing going on with this character, minus him having sex, and him and Carlo Gugino's relationship. That's it. That's all we know about his character, and it's not enough for me to latch onto his character. He pretty much is like Dion in Feed the Beast, where I don't give a fuck about his character. And really, I just didn't care about him. And Carla Gugino in this show as Shelly, I think is actually really good. She does a really good job. She's really trying here. It's just, I do not think for a second that these two would have dated. I don't think any of that would have happened. It just seems really unrealistic, and it just seems like a way to create conflict. Basically, these two were once in a relationship. She has a husband who never visits her. He's always off somewhere else. He manages Taylor Swift. She always, she always tells Bill, I'm gonna go to Taylor Swift. It's really annoying. I'm not a fan of her. I'm not a fan, of their whole relationship. There's this one scene where we find that they used to be married. Not a married couple. They used to be together and everything, and it's just really dumb. I don't really think they have that great of chemistry. Now, Carla Gugino really does try, and I think she really did shine this episode in a few scenes, especially when she runs into this one guy who says, the guy of, the person that Bill had sex with says, I've seen your daughter naked. I thought that was really funny. There were some good scenes like that, but just when she's with Bill, she's tremendously, she's really trying, and he really is not. I just don't care about, their storyline. I don't really care about what's going on with them. And they're the two central characters of the show, and I don't really care. Honestly, just like Vinyl, I think the main character of the show should have been Imogen Poots as Kellyanne, because her character feels like the main character. She gets more focus than anyone else in the show. Bill and Shelley get barely any focus in this episode. Now, they're in the episode, but we just don't really focus on them a lot. We focus a lot more on Kellyanne's character, and that's a character that I really do like. The problem is she's incredibly cliche. I mean, her character, this is a girl that she's been at the, the house band for so long, she feels like her voice is no longer being heard, and she feels her interests are changing. She wants to be a filmmaker, she wants to leave for that reason, and throughout the episode, we basically can tell that she's not going to leave. She's pulled in. She realizes how much she still likes music, and it's just really cliche. They try to do some stuff with her character, and she does a really good job. I'm going to say, like, out of everyone, I think she did the best job in this premiere, but really, her character is just incredibly one-dimensional, incredibly cliche, and there's really not that interesting, and not that anything that interesting about her. I think she did a really good job, but especially at the end, I knew by the end of the episode, I'm like, there's no way she's going to leave. There's no way that's going to happen. She's going to stay. They're going to get her to stay somehow, and that's exactly what happened. She stayed. Rafe Spall in the show, this guy could not be more annoying. I mean, he's not a bad character by any means, but he's just so annoying. He is the new, I believe, director of the Staten House. I don't really know, honestly. I honestly don't really know. He's the new one, basically. He's the new guy, and he is, it's interesting that he's, we find a lot of, he has this really big monologue, and it's supposed to make it seem like, oh, we really care about him, but really, he's just really annoying, and I'm just not really a fan of his character, and especially with, like, the direction he's going for Staten House Band. It just seems like the only reason we're watching the show is to see him sabotage things and to see him fuck things up. And I get that he's supposed to be the central villain of the show, but I'm just not really a fan of him. I don't think he's really that great. And then the other characters, I mean, I don't really think we learn much about the other characters, like Donna, Milo, Wes, Phil. Phil was fired, first of all, and I don't blame him. He was really annoying. And then Donna, Milo, and Wes, we really didn't find out much about them. Well, we do know that Wes is, I guess, Kellyanne's brother, which kind of makes sense, but it doesn't make sense in the sense that in the beginning there she's treating him like her lover, and then she's treating him like her brother. The only reason I think they did this is to basically give us reasons to actually care about this character, because the other characters we're introduced to, Milo and Donna, I don't care about them. I don't know what's going on. Donna, apparently, this is a girl that she has a girlfriend. She's trying to get pregnant with her girlfriend. I don't care about her. And then Milo, I don't care about it at all. There's not really much we found out about him, but those are our characters. And really, I think the main problem with the show is that these characters, the ensemble overall is not really that great. I'm gonna give them time to gel, but right now, I mean, it's really, really rocky stuff, and it really does not seem like they're working very much at all. Cameron Crowe's script here is not really that great either. I mean, it's a very messy script, and really, I mean, the life that they have here is not as interesting as it seems. They make it seem so interesting, setting up a concert. The entire episode's supposed to be everything that happens before the concert, and it's just not as interesting. When it focuses on Kellyanne, it's interesting. There was a good scene between Bill and Shelley with them fighting and them talking about how we never fought like this before, but it just seems like this show is very mediocre, and there's not really a lot of interesting stuff going on right now. In fact, I can't really remember a lot. I just watched the episode, and I'm still trying to remember everything that happened, because there were a lot of things that happened that just really weren't that important. There's a lot of gratuitous sex scenes in this show. There's a lot of gratuitous music. The music in the show is not even that great, honestly. I'm surprised, but the music is really not that great. If I had to be honest, it's not really that great of music. The characters in here, like I said, are just incredibly one-dimensional, and they're just not that interesting, for me at least. The tone here is all mixed up. I have no idea what this show wants to be. Does it want to be a fun, show about music and what's going on behind it, or does it want to be a serious drama about finding yourself and, trying to let your voice be heard? Because I can't figure out what the hell this show wants to be based on the tone. The tone is so messy, and it's a real problem, because this show has immense potential. I mean, definitely, there's a lot of really great stuff. There's some good stuff here that's presented that could be a really great show, but unfortunately, the show is so messy that I don't know what the hell this show wants to be. Honestly, I mean, the position that Shameless is in right now, this feels like if Shameless started off as mediocre as it did. When Shameless has mediocre episodes, I've told you guys about this before, Shameless can be really good, and it's getting, the end of season 6 was really good, but you guys know a lot of season 6 I did not really like, and it's mainly because it was like this show. This show is just very mediocre. I don't know what it wants to be. Cinematography here's fine, whatever. I don't really care about the effects and everything. Is not really one of those type of shows. It's just the making that, this music goes into, everything we focused on here, it just wasn't that interesting. I never was really 100% into it. There were only a couple times when I'm like, all right, that scene was really cool, that scene was really cool. Some scenes are just so weird. There's a scene of Kellyanne running back, and I kid you not, she's running back to visit, Bill, and she's running back to go to Bill, and she's saying, I'm coming back. We literally see, I think, literally every scene in a movie that's had someone running happily. It is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I have no idea why they did this. It was so dumb. I thought something was wrong with my TV. Like, literally, we just see a huge montage of all these characters just running happily in movies or smiling like, everything is great in the world, and I don't understand why they did this. It was so weird. There's a scene with a girl fucking a microphone. There are so many weird scenes in this show, and I don't understand it at all. I don't understand why this show is so weird. I don't understand why the show is the way it is. For me, I don't even know if I'm going to stick with this show. I honestly, I don't know, guys. That is why I can't really review this show. There's not really much interesting stuff going on here, and it really sucks, because I really thought the show had potential, and so far, it's really not delivering at all. It's really, the writing is terrible, and the characters, it's very mean-spirited as well. It's really, the comedy in the show, nothing is funny. I didn't really find many funny lines, actually. I honestly did not really laugh at anything, I have to say. A lot of these characters are very miscasted. Luke Wilson, like I said, I just think the problem with Luke Wilson is not that he's a terrible character, yes, but he's also very miscasted, and I think a lot of this cast, they were definitely very miscasted, and they could have done a lot more to do, and, I'm not really a fan of the way that that's going, and it's very unrealistic. It's very unfortunate, and it really sucks that the movie turned down the way it did, because I really think this movie could have been a lot better. The show could be a lot better than it was. It sucks that this show turned out as bad as it did. I almost forgot what I was reviewing, because that's how mediocre this show is. But again, this show is supposed to be a comedy. It's not funny. It's really not. But then there are parts where it's supposed to be drama, and the drama doesn't really work. The only bits I said that work were some of Imogen Poots' stuff. Other than that, the show is pretty shitty, and I don't know if I'm really going to be continuing it. What I will do is I am going to watch the second episode. I'm not reviewing the show weekly, definitely, because nothing really that big is happening on the show, except that Reg is I guess, going to fuck up things. I don't really know, honestly, where the show goes from here. The show ends with a band about to perform, and then firecrackers go off, so I don't know what happens in the second episode. I don't really know what's going to be happening in this show. This episode doesn't really tell me what's going to be happening. It doesn't really set up anything that interesting, but other than that, guys, that's really it for my review. I know this wasn't really much of a review, but it's mainly because not really much happened in the show. This is a show that could have been so good, and it's weighed down by so much missed potential, and that missed potential, it really has killed this show and really makes me from enjoying it. And like I said, I am going to check out the second episode. If I don't like it, I'm just not going to review it. I'm not even going to talk about it, but right now, at least, I'm not into the show. I really don't know if I'm going to be sticking with it. I'm probably not going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be sticking with it. I'm hoping I do. I'm really rooting that this was just a bad first episode, and the second episode's a lot better, but we'll have to see. This first episode really was not that great at all. Probably one of the worst pilots I've seen in a while, honestly, but let me know what you guys saw of this episode. I'll have to hear your thoughts on it. Honestly, for me, what everyone was saying about Vinyl is what I say about the show. Vinyl was a show that had tons of missed potential, but tons of potential. And this show, I'm not seeing the potential. I'm honestly not seeing it. The potential we have here is really phoned in and really cheesy, and that's really all the potential I'm seeing. I don't see a future where this could be a really good show. I see a future where this could be a really cheesy, fun show to just hate watch, but other than that, I can't really recommend this show to you guys, and it really sucks because I really do want a great music show on TV. You know what's going to be a great music music show, guys, The Get Down. That's going to be a great show. I'm really looking forward to that show. I really hope that show, that is going to be the one that shows we can do a great music TV show. You know, Empire is a fun show. It's a fun show. It's a dramatic show, but it's really about family. Vinyl failed. That was canceled. You know, that's canceled. And I think this show's probably going to get canceled too. The Get Down, I think, is going to be that show that shows that we can do a great music TV show. But until then, I don't know how the show is going to be. Let me know what you guys saw this first episode. Love to hear your thoughts on it. I honestly don't have much more to say, but I will see you guys in the next show, which will be for Bloodline, and I will see you guys for that. Again, let me know what you thought of this show. I'm going to watch the second episode, let you guys know how I feel with that, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.